I want to ask you about this latest security threat to the president. We've seen officials say that there's a suspected sniper's nest found near Air Force One. Now, this is just the latest example, isn't it, of how dangerous it's becoming, not only for the president, but for any high-profile conservative in the United States.
Well, look, as you know, Charlie Kirk was a good friend of mine. I'm still mourning his death. In some sense, it still doesn't even feel real in some way. But this is the new political climate that we appear to be in, and we should note, the media tells us that it's both sides doing all of these things, and it's 50-50, and it's equal, and it simply is not. The left, after years of calling us all Nazis and racists and bigots and all of those things, now has ginned up a younger generation that actually, by polling, it's quite staggering, a huge percentage of young leftists in America think that political violence is excusable, and it simply is not. Once you open up that Pandora's box, once you say, well, someone thinks differently than me, so I'm allowed to use violence, well, congratulations, that's going to be used on you too. I mean, it's the simple contract of living in a free society that we can agree to disagree and walk away, and we don't have to talk to each other, and we don't have to live next door to each other, but we can't kill each other.
It's the fundamental of democracy.
It is the most fundamental, basic building block of democracy, that we are not going to kill each other. But a huge percentage of leftists seem to believe this. Now, fortunately, they found this thing. Who knows exactly what it was there for? President Trump does have extraordinary protections. But let's not forget, we're only, less than 2 years off an assassination attempt on him as well. So it is a precarious time. But I wouldn't even say just to be a political pundit or a politician. It's a precarious time for everyone. Also, don't forget that they killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in the middle of Times Square because some guy didn't like the policies of his company.
And again, that murder was celebrated.
There was a portion of the left that was for that too. So when they tell you, it's interesting, they tell you that words are violence, but they don't seem to think that violence is violence. So we have a lot of work to do.
Indeed. Look, let's turn to these comments that Democrats are making, like Bernie Sanders. I mean, the president has literally delivered, or is on the cusp of delivering peace in the Middle East. Yeah. And yet we've seen Bernie Sanders at this so-called No Kings rally trying to claim that Trump is the greatest threat to the United States. I think we've got those comments, if we can have a quick look at them.
It is in danger when we have a president who illegally fires tens of thousands of federal employees right here in Washington, D.C. and throughout our country, and rips up union contracts that workers have fought for and won.
Shouldn't he be praising the president for what he's just done in the Middle East?
Sharri, I thought I could come to Australia and not hear clips of Bernie Sanders.
I apologize.
You have subjected me to the millionaire Bernie Sanders, who owns 3 houses and yet promotes socialism and ideology that eventually would throw someone like him in the dustbin. Look, this is so profoundly absurd. No kings. Not only is Donald Trump not a king, but he allowed the rallies to take place. He opened up the mall in D.C. despite a government shutdown. They did not arrest mass people. They said whatever they want to say about him. So every single thing that they do is really a projection. They are the ones who would love to accumulate power and all of those things. Donald Trump is freeing people. What is the worst thing Donald Trump has done? Well, we're getting closer to peace in the Middle East. He's lowering taxes. We have some trade deals that are happening. Maybe in Australia, you guys aren't too thrilled with that. But Donald Trump is freeing the American people. He's freeing the economic engine of America. And Bernie Sanders is realizing his time is almost up. 40 years of doing nothing but convincing people that envy is actually virtue, and it's obviously the complete reverse.
Such moral clarity. So great to have you on the show and to meet you in person. Thanks so much, Dave.
It was so nice to meet you in person.
And have a great rest of your time in Australia.
Thank you.